Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Shri Radhe.
Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Shri Radhe.
Jaya Nitai Sacinandana Gaura Hari. Jaya Nitai Sacinandana Gaura Hari.
Jaya Nitai Sacinandana Gaura Hari. Jaya Nitai Sacinandana Gaura Hari.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Vishnu Pasaran Sutragadacharya Shruti Shatashi Srimati Juvan Grace Shri Raisi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण को गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, मथुरा धाम की जय, गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, सामवेद भक्तवृंद की जय. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Shri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namne. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarane. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanastu. Krishne Matarastu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So today we are going to read from Bhagavad-Gita chapter 11, which is the Vishwarup Darshan Yog, the universal form, which are texts 4 to 8. So text 4, Manyase yadi tachakyam,
Manyase yadi tachakyam,
Maya drashtum iti prabho,
Maya drashtam iti prabho,
Yogeshvaro tato me tvam,
Yogeshvara tato me tvam,
Darshayat manam avyayam.
Darshayatmanam avyayam.
So what about Manyase?
Manyase,
You think.
you think,
Yadi. If. Tat. That. Shakyam. Is able. Maya. By me. Drashtum. To be seen. Iti. Thus. Prabho. O Lord. Yoga Ishvara. O Lord of all mystic power.
O Lord of all mystic power.
Tataha. Then. May. Onto me. Tvam. You. Darshaya. Show. Atmanam. Yourself. Avyayam. Eternal. Translation. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. Okay, so in this particular verse, if you look at it from the beginning, the first 3 verses, it's all Arjuna was speaking, right? So if you look at the first verse, for example, Madanugrahaya Paramam Kuhyam Adhyatma Samyatam Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Nigato Mama. Right? So it's a direct continuation from the Vibhuti Vistar Yoga. And so in chapter 10, Kṛṣṇa was describing about his Vibhutis. And then Kṛṣṇa said that, Arjuna said that, because you have described your Vibhutis, Kṛṣṇa, my attachments are going away. Mohoya Vigata. And then he's continued to express his desire now. So because Kṛṣṇa described the Vibhutis, now he has got the desire to see those Vibhutis in direct perception, right? Through his eyes. He wants to see those through his eyes. Because Kṛṣṇa was only describing it. And Arjuna was hearing those descriptions. So this is, in this particular verse, if you look at verse 4 here, Manyase yadi tat shakyam. So this is an interesting statement in the beginning. Manyase yadi tat shakyam. Maya drishtam iti prabho. If you look at the first 2 lines of that verse, Arjuna is saying that, Kṛṣṇa, if you think that I am eligible to see your universal form, so that eligibility has to be there. So to see the universal form of Kṛṣṇa, there has to be 2 conditions to see. One condition is that the person who wants to see is qualified to see the form. That is the first condition. And the second condition is, based on that qualification, whether Kṛṣṇa has got a costless mercy to show that form. So these two conditions have to be met. For example, there is an instance in Mahabharata where Kṛṣṇa goes as the peace messenger for the Pandavas. So he, because Duryodhana says that I don't want to give anything to the Pandavas, and then Kṛṣṇa goes as a peace messenger to Duryodhana, and he says that, finally he says, just give 5 villages to 5 Pandavas, 1 village to 1 Pandava. And then he says that I won't give even a land worth tip of a needle. That is his arrogance. And then he actually tries to capture Kṛṣṇa as well. This is another adharma that he does. Generally, when someone is coming as a messenger, as a peace messenger, you respect that person. You don't be generally that is the protocol. The political protocol is that if someone is coming as a peace messenger, he is given all respect, and then whatever he is saying is heard, and then the person goes back, and then the discussions continue. That is a normal protocol. But because Duryodhana was so arrogant and so cruel and unfortunately totally adharmic, he tried to capture Kṛṣṇa, and Kṛṣṇa actually had shown the universal form there, but Duryodhana was not able to see it. So this is another thing. If one is not qualified to see the universal form, even if Kṛṣṇa shows it, one will not be able to see it. And the qualification is Bhaktosime Saka Cheti Rahasyam Etad Uttamam, as it is mentioned in 4th chapter. Kṛṣṇa was mentioning that if one is not in that frame of mind as a devotee of the Lord, that love, when there is love for the Lord can be seen everywhere. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. It is mentioned in Brahma Samhita that if someone has anointed their eyes with a salve of love for Kṛṣṇa, then Santas Sadaiva Hrideshu Vilokayanti. It is mentioned that such kind of a person sees the Lord within the heart always, continuously. There is no point in time when they do not see the Lord. And then there is another verse where Kṛṣṇa says, Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam chamai pashyati tasya hamna pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. So, Yo mam pashyati sarvatra. So, someone who sees me everywhere. So, how do we see Kṛṣṇa everywhere? When we know that, as Kṛṣṇa says, Rasoham apsu kaunteya. He says that I am the taste in water. So, Prabhasmi shashi suryayo. I am the light of the sun and the moon. So when we hear Shabdam Thaya Paurusham Rishu, any kind of voice that is here, Kṛṣṇa says that I am. So we can never be separate from the Lord if we have that intention. At the end of the day, it is an intention. If our intention is to remember and see the Lord always, we will always do that. But if we don't have that intention, if our intention is at the end of the day, it is all based on what we want to do. That's all it's based on. So that's why Kṛṣṇa says, Uddhared Atman Atmanam Atmanam Vasadehet Atmaiva Ki Atmano Bandhur Atmaiva Ripuratmana. Very beautiful verse. Kṛṣṇa says, through the use of your higher mind, curb your lower mind. And that's what Kṛṣṇa says. Uddhared Atman Atmanam Atmanam Vasadehet Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhur Atmaiva Ripuratmana. Mind itself is a friend of the person, and mind itself is the enemy. So how is the mind friend of the person? When the mind is absorbed in the thoughts of Kṛṣṇa, understanding that everything is Kṛṣṇa's, then the mind is a friend. But if the mind is totally in a state of flux, just thinking about the material existence, then it is unfortunately an enemy. Because what is happening is, the nature of the mind is that it does not want to stay at one place. Chanchalam hi mana Kṛṣṇa. Arjuna mentions in Bhagavad-Gita, Arjuna says that, oh Kṛṣṇa, this mind is it does not want to stay at one place. Pramathi balavad dhridam. Pramathi is, it is obstinate and it is determined to not come under our control. That is the nature of the mind. So how that is the difference. You know that there is a term called Go Swami and Go Das. Those are the two terms. So Go means the senses, and the main sense is the mind. You know, like mind is a controller of all the senses. Like for example, we might be trying to hear something, but if the mind is not here, we will not hear. You know, like mind is thinking about something else, that I want to do this, I want to do that. So even though we are supposed to hear, but we will not hear because the mind is not here. But if the mind is here, if we are fully in the present, fully trying to be aware of all the inputs that are coming into my senses without judging anything. Because generally what happens is, when some kind of, say, some nice input is coming to my senses, I will say that this is nice and I will judge it. This is nice, I am liking it. Something that I don't like comes as an input. I will say that I'll judge it. I will say I don't like this. I want to run away from it. Why does this happen? Because we have this samskara. So samskara is that accumulation of my previous impressions that have been coming since time immemorial. There is no beginning. Right? Birth after birth after birth after birth. There has been lots and lots of impressions that I have. That's like an unlimited set of impressions that I have within me. And because of that unlimited set of impressions, some things I am attached to, some things I want to run away from. So if we can just be aware of this, that itself is the beginning. Because when we know that there is some nice impulse coming and I am liking it, just be aware of it. There is some impulse that I don't like is coming and I want to run away from it, just be aware of it. So if we are in that state, that means that we are connected to our eternal existence. Because when we are connected to our eternal existence, all these external impulses will be known as external impulses. When we are not connected, what will happen is I'll just think that this is the only existence that I have. This body is the only existence I have. That means any kind of thing that I don't like, I will feel very bad about it and I'll identify with it. The difference between a person who is self-realized and a person who is in a conditioned state of existence is, a self-realized person also has the same pain as a conditioned person. It's not that the self-realized person will not have pain. They will also have pain. Like there are examples given where the self-realized person is going through cancer and different other types of ailments. It's not that they are not having any kind of ailments or anything. The important point there is, even though all those things are happening, they are disconnected from that. Like they are in a state of pure bliss, which is totally disassociated from all the external conditions that they have. Because they know that this is like an instrument that the Lord has given, and the Lord can use the instrument in whatever way He wants. It is His instrument anyway. So let Him use it in whatever way He wants. So that's the perspective of a person who is surrendered unto Kṛṣṇa, and that was the perspective of Arjuna. And because that was the perspective of Arjuna, he's asking like this, Manyase yadi tat shakyam. Like, oh Kṛṣṇa, if you think that Maya drishtam iti Prabhu, right? If you think that I am eligible to see you, Kṛṣṇa, Yogeshwara tato me tvam darshaya atmanam avyayam. He addresses Kṛṣṇa as Yogeshwara. Yogeshwara is the master of all yogis. So what is yoga? Yoga means yoga's chitta vritti nirodha. It is in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. The definition of yoga means chitta vritti. Chitta means the mind. Vritti means the different fluctuations that are happening in mind. So nirodha means control. So yoga means the control of the fluctuations that are happening in the mind. That is yoga. how does the fluctuations of the mind is controlled when the mind gets absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord. Man manavo man bhakto madhyaji man namaskuru. So when the mind gets absorbed in the Lord, the mind then does not fluctuate. It is just absorbed. It just gets unlimited bliss. So it does not. There are two examples given in scriptures. One is that of bee, for example, right? Bee is going from flower to flower, and then basing on the flower to flower to flower, it is taking something out of pollens out of the flowers, and then it is all collecting, and then it is making honey, which is the sweetest thing that you can have. And then, unfortunately, if you look at another flying thing, which is a fly, for example, fly is going into the dirt and getting engaged in the dirt, and it is in that state of existence. So this is one of the examples given from the natural things that, when the mind is absorbed in the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa, savai mana Kṛṣṇa padaro indeo, then it is like the bee going onto the flowers. So when that churning of that thoughts of Kṛṣṇa is happening, that is producing madhura. That is producing the honey. There is a beautiful verse from Vallabhacharya, Madhurashtakam. It is called Madhurashtakam. Adharam madhuram, vadanam madhuram, nayanam madhuram, hasitam madhuram, hrudayam madhuram, gamanam madhuram, madhuradhipatir akhilam madhuram. Beautiful. Everything is like, he has got 8 of those verses, and everything is like that. Madhuram, madhuram, madhuram. So what it is meaning is madhuradhipatir akhilam madhuram. So what it says is, everything is sweet about the Lord of sweetness. Right? So this is the when one remembers the pastimes of Kṛṣṇa, there is no end to the bliss that one can get out of it, and that bliss is totally different from any kind of sensory gratification that I can get. Totally different, because that bliss is something that has no beginning and no end. It is constantly increasing. Pratipadam purnamrita swadhanam. There is a particular place where the first verse of Shikshashtakam, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that every step there is a constant anandambudhi vardhana. The ocean of bliss is constantly increasing. So that is what is the engagement here. So this is what that is Yogeshwara. Right? Yogeshwara tato netvam darshayatmanam avyaya. So in the last line here is Arjuna is saying that please, if you think that I am eligible, please show your eternal form, which is unlimited. So then now we go to the verse 5, where Kṛṣṇa starts speaking. Shri Bhagavan-uvacha Pashya me partha rupani Shatashotha sahasrasaha Nana vidhani divyani Nana varna kritani cha. Good Lord, Shri Bhagavan-uvacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said.
Pashya, just see, me, my, partha, O son of Pritha, Rupani, forms, Shatashaha, hundreds, Atha, also, Sahasrashaha, thousands, Nana vidhani, variegated, Divyani, divine, Nana, variegated, Varna, colors, Akritani, forms, Cha, also. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said. My dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of very divine and multicolored forms. Okay, so here now, so now Kṛṣṇa is actually showing his universal form here. So, Sri Bhagavan Vacha. So, Bhagavan, when we say Bhagavan, there is a definition given for Bhagavan. Aishwaryasya samagrasya veeryasya yashasa shriya jnana vairagyavashchaiva sannam bhaga itingana. So Parashara Muni, who is the father of Vedavyas, he gives the definition of Bhagavan. Bhagavan means one who has got full opulences, Aishwarya, Samagra. Samagra means total. Aishwaryasya samagrasya. Then here he is the Virya. Virya means totally powerful. So he is the most opulent, he is the most powerful. Yasha, he has got the most fame. Shriya, he has got the most beauty. Jnana, he has got the most knowledge. And Aishwaryasya samagrasya Viryasya yashasa shriya jnana vairagya. Vairagya is renunciation. It's quite interesting. A person who is fully opulent, who is fully powerful, who is fully famous, who is fully beautiful, who is fully knowledgeable, but at the same time, he is totally renounced. So this is Bhagavan. The definition of Bhagavan is given by Parashara Muni, and it is really amazing to understand this definition. Like as Krishna says, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam, sarva loka maheshwaram, suhridam sarva bhutanam yatva mam shanti murchati. So Krishna gives the definition of who can attain real peace. He gives a definition. What is the qualification for attaining real peace? So the first condition is to know that Bhoktaram yajna tapasam, that Krishna is the actual enjoyer of all the yajnas and all the tapasa. Yajna is all the sacrifices, tapasa is all the austerities. And so, in the modern context, the yajna and tapasa could be actually, engaging in the family activities as a grihastha, right? As a grihastha, when one is engaging in activities, one has to be responsible, right? Responsibility is there, and when those responsibilities are being executed, one has to know that it is being executed for the satisfaction of Krishna. When we have that background understanding that everything is Krishna's, so when we are engaging in activity, then we are knowing that actual enjoyer is Krishna. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. Sarva loka maheshwaram. The second quality is that Krishna is actually the proprietor of everything. Like the whole universe, both material and spiritual, Krishna is the actual proprietor, actual owner. And everyone else is basically a part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the part and parcel, for example, if we take the definition of this finger, the finger is a part of the whole body. And the finger has got the meaning only when it is part of the whole body. If the finger is cut off from the body, it does not have any meaning. It does not have any meaning of its own. So exactly in the same way, we are part and parcels of Krishna. So if we are connected to Krishna, then our value is present. If we are not connected with Krishna, our value is not there. So what? It does not mean that the interesting thing here is that everyone is connected with Krishna. Some people know it, some people don't know it. So in that respect, everyone is intrinsically valuable, because they are all part and parcels of Krishna. But the problem is when we don't understand our connection with the Lord, we kind of think that this material world is the only reality. We think that this is the only life that I have, and I should enjoy this to the fullest. I should enjoy my senses to the fullest. But what happens when someone is trying to enjoy their senses to the fullest? At the end of the day, they become depressed. It has to be balanced. Yukta hara viharasya, yukta karmasu kaushalam, yukta swapnava bodhasya, yoga bhavati dukkha. Krishna mentions in Bhagavad-Gita, everything has to be in moderation. He says that ahara, eating in moderation, vihara, entertainment in moderation. Yukta karmasu kaushalam, whatever activities we are doing, that has to be in moderation. Yukta swapna avabodhasya. Swapna is when we are sleeping, avabodha is when we are wakeful. Everything, if it is done in moderation, then yoga bhavati dukkhaha. Then yoga will help us, that kind of yoga will help us to take out all the miseries of life. But what will happen if someone is, not having that balance? It is going to affect them quite a lot. Right? For example, if someone just thinks that I am this body and this body has to be enjoyed to the fullest, what will happen is one will keep enjoying, but one will not know that the actual bliss is missing. Why one will not know? Because unfortunately one is not trying to understand Bhagavad-Gita. Because only when we try to understand Bhagavad-Gita, we will know that we have something that is eternal, and that we are. This is what na jayate mriyate va kadachit. Kṛṣṇa mentions in Bhagavad-Gita that we as an eternal part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa are never born. Because we are never born, we will never die. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. Kadachit means at any point in time. It's kind of amazing. So at any point in time, we are not born, and at any point in time, we don't die. So who is taking birth and who is dying? The body, right? And basically that false ego. So basically Atma is I am Atma Brahma. There is a Veda Vakya which says that the Atma is actually Brahman. There is a Veda Vakya. So that is our original nature. But when we come under the influence of Ajnana, ignorance, we start thinking that I am this thing, which takes birth and which dies, and I identify myself fully with this body, and then we lose that real knowledge, which is always within us. That is what we are actually. So in this particular verse, the reason why Arjuna is able to see that form of Kṛṣṇa, the form that Kṛṣṇa says, he says that, oh Arjuna, you see me, Pashya me Partha Rupani. So Partha, he addresses Arjuna as Partha. Partha is son of Pritha. Pritha is another name of Kunti Devi. So Kṛṣṇa says that, oh Arjuna, see, oh Partha, see my form. What is it? Shatasho atha sahasrasha. So he has got hundreds and thousands. So hundreds and thousands of his form. That is a universal form. So what does universal form actually mean? It means that the Lord is actually the whole universe in that sense. So if we look at for example, the sun. The sun is so. If someone is going to the sun, for example, in this particular body, it is not possible, right? The heat of the sun. So the Lord is, in that sense, the eyes are the sun and moon. The eyes of the Lord are like sun and moon. Something like that, right? So the whole universe is the form of the Lord. So this is what he's saying here. Pashyame Rupa Partha Rupani Shatasho Atha Sahasrasha Nana Vidhani Divyani. Nana Vidhani Divyani. So varieties of Divya. Divya is divine. So when we see the picture of the universal form of the Lord, one will actually see that all the Rupa, like Narsimha, Vamana, Varaha, all that Rupa, like the Rudra Rupa of Lord Shiva, everything is seen, the Ganesh Rupa, everything is seen within that universal form. So that is the divinity there, Divyani. Nana Varna Kritani cha. Varna is colors, Akrita means forms. So it is just, and if one wants to see that form, one cannot see the form with the material eyes. There has to be a divine vision that is given. With that, one can see that universal form. So we will see later that actually Kṛṣṇa gives that as well. So we'll go to verse 6. Pashyadityan vasun rudran
Pashyadityan vasun rudran
Ashvinau marutastatha
Ashvinau marutastatha
Bahuni adrishta purvani
Bahuni adrishta purvani
Pashyashcharani bharata
Pashyashcharani Bharata.
So what the word Pashya,
Pashya
see
see
Adityan,
Adityan
the 12 sons of Aditi,
the 12 sons of Aditi
Vasun,
Vasun
the 8 Vasus,
the 8 Vasus
Rudran,
Rudran
the 11 forms of Rudra,
the 11 forms of Rudra
Ashvinau,
Ashvinau
the 2 Ashvinis,
the 2 Ashvinis
Marutaha,
Marutaha
the 49 Maruts,
the 49 Maruts
demigods of the wind,
demigods of the wind
Tatha,
Tatha
also
also
Bahuni,
Bahuni
many,
many
Adrishta,
Adrishta
that you have not seen,
that you have not seen
Purvani,
Purvani
before, Pashya,
Pashya
see,
see
Ashcharyani,
Ashcharyani
all the wonders, Bharata,
Bharata
O best of the Bharatas.
O best of the Bharatas
So translation, O best of the Bharatas,
O best of the Bharatas
see here
see here
the different manifestations
the different manifestations
of Adityas,
of Adityas
Vasus,
Vasus
Rudras,
Rudras
Ashwini Kumaras,
Ashwini Kumaras
and all the other demigods.
and all the other demigods.
Behold the many wonderful things
Behold the many wonderful things
which no one has ever seen
which no one has ever seen
or heard of before.
or heard of before.
Okay, so this is the explanation of the next. So in the previous verse, you were saying hundreds and thousands of divine forms, which is colorful, which has lots and lots of colors and lots of akritis, forms. So in the previous verse, Krishna was being very generic in terms of what is being seen as the universal form. What will be seen? Now in this particular verse, Krishna is being more specific, in terms of what is seen. So here the Pashya Adityan Vasun Rudran. So Aditya, the 12 sons of Aditi. So as we have discussed, there is the Kashyapa Muni. He's got Aditi and Diti, 2 wives. So Aditi, the sons of Aditi are called Adityas, and the sons of Diti are called Daityas. So Adityas are what is called generally the demigods. Daityas are generally the demons. And it's kind of interesting, right? So the father is one, but the mothers are 2 different mothers. And that is what is the demigod and the demons. And this is why, like, even if you look Ravana's, for example, Ravana's was also the same thing. His father was a Brahmana kind of thing, and then these things are, what it shows is that no one is fully pure or fully impure in their nature. It is basically a combination of that. In the material world is like that. There is a duality of nature in the material world, and if one can understand that everyone is an eternal part and parcel of Krishna, then the judgments can slowly be not. Generally what happens is the human condition is such that we want to keep judging people, that this person is good, this person is bad, this person is indifferent. We keep labels on people, but when we are spiritual, when we know that everyone is part and parcel of Krishna, then we can understand that this is just some temporary thing that is happening. That it's not that they will be eternally like this. There is always a chance where one can make themselves change. For example, the example of Valmiki. It's a great example of Valmiki. He was a robber called Ratnakar, and he was the thing that was doing was robbing people in the forest, and then taking their money and sometimes killing them, and then maintaining the family that way. And then Narada Muni comes there. This is again, Narada Muni is there for every person in the universe in that sense. He is there as a guardian. He whenever someone is in distress and someone has got, he knows that everyone is a part and parcel of Krishna, right? So he asked Ratnakar, you go and ask your family that you are doing all these things for your family. Whatever sinful activities you are doing, will the family take the effect of the sinful activities? And he understands that that's not going to happen. He has to bear the responsibility for his sinful activities. Then he understands, and then it is said that he has to say Mara, 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 Mara. Ram he has to say, but he says Mara. And then when Mara repeats, it becomes Ram. So, and then he says Ram for so long that there is ant hills that are formed on it. That's what Valmiki means. Now, Valmiki, the meaning of the word Valmiki is one on whom the ant hills has been formed. So he was totally absorbed, and he totally forgot that that he is he's so much absorbed in Ram now that he forgot about everything else. And then he wrote Ramayana, right? He is author of Ramayana. So this is what we can see. There is no so labeling people is not the right thing to do. We just know that everyone is a part and parcel of Krishna, and due to some activities that has been done, they are in a particular situation. And that is, if we look at it from that perspective, we'll have compassion for everyone, and that is real spirituality. So in this particular verse, Krishna is talking about all the Adityas. Why we talked about this was Adityas was mentioned, the demigods. Then there are demons as well. Vasun Rudra. There is the Vasus, the 8 Vasus, the Rudra, and one of the Rudra Avatara is Hanuman. So out of the 11 Rudras, one of them is Hanuman. Ashwina, the 2 Ashwini Kumaras, Maruta, and then Bahuni Adrushta, Urvani. Ashcharyani Bharata. So this is, we'll actually see later that Arjuna becomes totally overwhelmed, because it's such that form becomes a little bit unbearable for him to see, because it's it becomes quite ferocious in that sense. It's kind of unimaginable. That's why he says Ashcharyani here. He uses that word. So then we'll go to the verse 7. Ihaikastham jagat kritsnam.
Ihaikastham jagat kritsnam.
Pashyadya sacharacharam.
Pashyadya sacharacharam.
Mama dehe gudha kesha.
Mama dehe gudha kesha.
Yachanya drashtum ichhasi.
Yachanya drashtum ichhasi.
So Iha, in this, Ekastham, in one place, Jagat, the universe, Kṛṣṇam, completely, Pashya, see, Adya, immediately, Sa, with, Chara, the moving, Acharam, and not moving, Mama, my, Dehe, in this body, Gudha Kesha, O Arjuna, Yet, that which, Cha, also, Anya, other, Drashtum, to see, Ichhasi, you wish. Translation: O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once, in this body, of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see, and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything, moving and not moving, is here completely in one place. Okay, so again, this is going to a generic kind of statement. So we saw that the verse which was the verse before 6, the 5th verse was generic, the 6th is particular, he's mentioning about the different aspects, and the 7th has become again generic. In this verse, Krishna is saying that the universal form can now show you whatever you desire to see and whatever you want to see in the future. So this is an interesting part here. So the universal form is not only showing the whole universe at once, which is unimaginable. We cannot imagine that. But it is also showing the past and future at once as well. So even from the dimension of time, everything is being seen at once. Like generally from the dimension of time, what is happening is we only see the present, right? Every moment is going and every moment we are seeing. The past goes away, it stays in the form of the memory. The future, we do not know anything about the future. Right? As conditioned human beings, we do not know anything about the future. But sometimes some people are called Trikaladarshi. There is a word. There is a word called Trikaladarshi. Are the people who are totally immersed in the Lord, and because they are immersed in the Lord, they are above the purview of time and space. So when you are above the purview of time and space, you can see the whole time as one. We don't see, because we are in a conditioned state of existence, past is separate, present is now, and future I don't know anything about. There is a conditioned state of existence. But when one is Trikaladarshi, one knows all the three, one is in a liberated state of existence, then everything is one, in that sense. The time, there is no past, present, future, and the whole universe is seen as the part and parcel of the Lord. So when the whole universe is seen as part and parcel of the Lord, when time is Lord, then where is one separated from the Lord? So one is never separate. So everything is, and we have discussed this many times as well. Krishna says, Mrityu Sarva Harascha. So he says that as death, I take away everything from the person. Because that is a time when one might be attached to lots and lots of things in this particular life, but when the time of death comes, everything is forcefully taken away from us. So that's why if one is, and we have discussed this before as well, there are the death of a person who is spiritual and the death of a person who is in a conditioned state of existence can be compared to a kitten and a rat. A cat. So when a person is in a liberated state, it's like a cat carrying a kitten. It's the best feeling the kitten will have, because it's under the protection of its mother. When a conditioned person is dying, their condition is like a cat being clenched by a rat being clenched by the cat. They are in a very difficult state of existence. Why? Because one is thinking that this is the only reality. When I think that this physical body and everything related to this physical body is the only reality, then if the time of death comes, then I'm really in a very bad state, because this is the only reality, and that reality, everything is being taken away from me. Now, what is good? But if I know that, this is a certain form of reality which is based on my physical appearance, and this physical appearance is constantly going to change, then I know that this is not the end of everything. It is actually a beginning of something new. So the perspective will change totally. And this is what when one knows about the universal form of the Lord, when one knows that everything is Lord, all the past, present, and future is Lord, then nothing will feel separate from the Lord. So that is what we can understand from this verse. And then the verse 8, Natumam shakyase drashtum
न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुम्
अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा
अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा
दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षु
दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षु
पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम्
पश्य मे योगैश्वरम्
word na
न
never
never
tu
tu
but mam
मां
me
me
shakyase
शक्यसे
are
are able
drashtum
द्रष्टुं
to see
to see
anena
अनेन
with these
with these
eva
एव
certainly
certainly
swachakshusha
स्वचक्षुषा
your own eyes
your own eyes
divyam
दिव्यं
divine
divine
dadami
ददामि
I give
I give
te
te
to you
to you
chakshu
चक्षु
eyes
eyes
pashya
पश्य
see
see
me
मे
my
my
yogam aishwaram
योगमैश्वरम्
inconceivable mystic power.
inconceivable mystic power.
Translation is, but you cannot
But you cannot
see me
see me
with your present eyes.
with your present eyes.
Therefore,
Therefore,
I give you divine eyes.
I give you divine eyes.
Behold my mystic opulence.
Behold my mystic opulence.
Okay, so until now, so whatever we have discussed, Krishna was giving the details of, so he was generic, then he became particular, then he was generic, now he is, so that was all the description that he was talking about. And now Krishna says that in order to see all these directly, you need to have divya chakshusha. You need to have a divine eyes. This is what we were discussing in the beginning, right? So, this is what, when we say premanjana churita bhakti vilochane, so the eyes have to be anointed with the love, salve of love. Even if you look at it from the perspective of Sanjaya, for example, because Sanjaya was describing it to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was blind, and Sanjaya had been given that divya chakshusha as well. You know, therefore, in the end, Sanjaya says, that is a very beautiful verse. He says that Yatra Yogeshwara Kṛṣṇa, wherever there is Krishna, who is the master of all the yogis. Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, wherever there is Partha, son of Pritha, Kunti, Dhanurdhara, the one who has got bow and arrow with him, wielding the bow and arrow. Tatra Shri, there one has got beauty and opulence. Tatra Shri, there is Vijaya, there is victory. Tatra Shri Vijaya Bhuti Dhruva Nitir Matirma. And there is also morality, a morality which is a permanent morality. So this is what is Sanjaya's statement in the end. You know, he says that wherever there is Krishna, who is the master of all the yogis, and wherever there is Arjuna, who is the great archer, there we have opulence and beauty, there we have victory, and there we have morality. Tatra Shri Vijaya. So what we are, this particular verse, it is the important thing to understand from this verse is that, you see, in the beginning, Arjuna was saying that, Krishna, if you think that I am eligible, please show me a universal form. Now in this verse, Krishna is saying that, indirectly Krishna has said that, oh Arjuna, you are eligible, and therefore I am giving you this divine vision. So through this divine vision, you will be able to see my universal form. We will see in the end, you know, when the universal form chapter is going to end, there's lots and lots of detailed description about how fierce this form is, and Arjuna becomes a little bit, overwhelmed by all this. You know, he thinks that I'm not able to bear the sight of your universal form now. In the end, he says that it's kind of really interesting. You know, Arjuna has this desire to see the universal form of Krishna. He requests to Krishna that you show me. Then Krishna gives the divine eyes. Arjuna sees it, and then in the end he says that, please stop this now. He says, please show me your original form again, you know, your form as Krishna again. So this is the devotee, someone who is surrendered unto the Lord, they are always wanting to have that relationship with Krishna. That is, so you've got this Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. There is Shanta as well. Shanta is that rasa which is neutral. That is sometimes the example that is given of Shanta rasa is that of the grass in Vrindavan, for example. In the spiritual world, it is said the spiritual world is like that. In the spiritual world, everything is spirit. There is no matter. That's why it is spiritual world. What does it mean? Everything is spirit. It means that in material world, I have got this body which has got a date of birth, and because of that, there is a date of death. So in material world, it is all matter. But in spiritual world, everything is spirit. That means it is never decaying. It is ever existing. It's not. We won't be able to understand it, because we are in the material world. We are fully made up of matter. We can only see matter. So it's very difficult to understand. But the way to understand it is that everything, for example, whatever, so say the grass is there. The grass is totally spirit. It has no matter in it. So basically, it is serving the Lord. By even the form of grass, spiritual existence, it is serving the Lord. So this is what is called Chintamani Prakara Sadmashu. There is a description in Brahma Samhita about the spiritual existence. It says that every stone is like a touchstone. That means it's spiritual, in that sense. Every stone is spiritual. Chintamani Prakara Sadmashu Kalpa Vriksha Laksha Vrteshu. The vriksha, the trees are kalpa vriksha. That means they, again, wish-fulfilling trees. But then what does it mean? It is spiritual again. It is purely spiritual, no matter. Surabhir abhipalayantam. There is, Surabhi is again wish-fulfilling cows. So there is wish-fulfilling stone, wish-fulfilling trees, wish-fulfilling cows. But in essence, what it means is everything is spiritual, pure spirit. There is no matter. So in that pure spiritual realm, one is engaged in a relationship with Krishna. Like, for example, the grass can be a Shanta rasa, but it can also be Dasya rasa, because it is serving. When there is service, there is Dasya. But then there is Dasya in the, for example, Hanuman and Sri Ram. That is the Dasya rasa, because Hanuman always wants to serve Sri Ram. He's always, every moment he is looking for service towards Sri Ram. So Dasya. Then there is Sakya. Sakya is Arjuna and Krishna, like a friend. And so what is the relationship? Arjuna and Krishna has got a friendly relationship. He is actually a friend. But then suddenly this desire comes in, because Krishna explained about his vibhutis in chapter 10. Suddenly the desire comes that I have to actually directly see the vibhutis. So he says, I want to see. Krishna gives a divine vision. He sees all the vibhutis directly, universal form, Vishwarup Darshan. Then he gets perplexed. Then he says, please stop. Please come back to your form as Krishna, and we can have a friendly dialogue again. So this relationship, like initially he was talking as a friend, then he says that I am your disciple, then Krishna becomes the guru, then slowly the transformation is happening, Krishna is Bhagavan, then Krishna is showing his universal form. And in the next chapter, it comes to the Bhakti Yoga, the devotional service. So when we look at the whole series of chapters that is there in Bhagavad-Gita, there is a slow, it's like a narrative, it's like a story that is going on. And every chapter is unfolding a new perspective of the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna. And in every chapter, like Karma Yoga is mentioning the importance of involving in activities. Then you've got Dhyana Yoga. We have discussed the Dhyana Yoga chapter, right, where Krishna talks about, meditating, or sitting and meditating, and different, all these different aspects. So this particular here, the last words that we have discussed here, Krishna is giving that Dadami te chakshusha pashyame yogam aishwaram. That is really important. The mystic opulence of the Supreme Personality of God. Because when one understands this wonderful nature of Krishna, then automatically one surrenders unto the Lord. That is the. But then to surrender to the Lord, one has to have, amanitvam, madambitvam, ahimsa, kshanti, arjavam, acharya, upasanam, shaucham, sthairya, atma vinigraha. It is mentioned what are the qualities of a person who is engaged in devotional service of Krishna. The first quality is amanitvam. Amanitvam means humility. So that is the first quality. Then there is adambitvam. Adambitvam is being not proud. So it's related. Both are related. Amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, non-violent. The person who has got that loving devotional service to Krishna is not thinking violently even in thoughts. What does it mean? Like, say someone gets angry at us, then what is the natural response? We also get angry at that person. Because they have got angry at me, I'll get angry at them. But if someone is in a state of loving devotional service to Krishna, they will see it from a different perspective. They will see probably that person is going through a very bad time. Let me show compassion to that person, rather than just. So that is ahimsa. Like ahimsa in the thought, literally in the thought, because someone is doing himsa to me, but I am not just reacting and doing himsa to the other person. So that is all these qualities. When these qualities, it's a combination. One actually involves in devotional service, then the Lord, through His compassion, gives those qualities, and when those qualities become strong, the devotional service increases. So it's like a cycle. It's a good cycle. People could be in bad cycle. Vicious cycle, as they say. The vicious cycle is, one is started doing bad things, and because of getting engaged in bad things, one is not able to come out of that. So that is a vicious cycle. And the good cycle is when one is, somehow or other getting this inclination to understand Bhagavad-Gita. So when one has that inclination and when one acts on that inclination, then tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadhami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, this is one of the Chatushloki Gita, one of the 4 seed verses of Gita. He says that those who are satata yuktanam, satata means constantly, yuktana means trying to understand their relationship with me. So those who are constantly trying to understand the relationship with me, tesham satata yuktanam, when they are trying to understand the relationship, they are bhajatam priti purvakam. They are engaging in devotional service to me with love. Priti is love. Then what happens when they do? Dadhami buddhi yogam tam. Krishna says, I give them that buddhi yoga, the intelligence of devotional service. Yena mam upayanti te, through which they can come back to me. So so when we are trying to understand these verses, the important thing here is to know that this is the original nature. This is our original nature. This is like even if we are engaged in all the other activities, this is the basic fundamental nature in which we exist, whether we know it or whether we don't know it. So someone might say that I don't believe in sun, but it doesn't matter whether they believe in sun or don't believe in sun. We see that the sun is always, there will be, we see the sunrise, we see the sunset. But even so, this exactly in the same way, one may say that I don't believe in God, or this universe is just matter. They may say that, but that does not mean that the consciousness does not exist. The fact that they say that is itself based on the consciousness, right? If someone is dead, can they say that? They cannot say anything. The body exists, but they cannot say anything. So the fact that someone can say that there is no spirit itself is showing that there is spirit. It's a conundrum. And that is, so when we are discussing these kind of discussions, somehow or other we are getting in touch with our original nature, and then we access that part of the bliss within us which is ever accessible. It is not that we'll just say one verse and then we'll end this. That verse is called Ramante Yoginah Anante. So a yogi, one who is connected with Krishna, is enjoying a bliss which has got no end. Ananta. Ananta means no end. Ramante yogina anante. What kind of happiness it is? Satyanande chidatmani. It is real bliss which is coming from chidatmani. It is coming from our consciousness. The consciousness itself is giving that bliss to us. Iti Rama Padenasho Param Brahma Vidiyate. That particular verse is saying that's why the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Parabrahma, is called Rama. Because Rama means one who gives bliss to everyone. So it is the source of bliss. So with a prayer that we can always access that source of bliss within us. Thank you very much for listening. Srimad Bhagavad-Gita ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you very much. If there is any comments or questions, you can discuss. Let's sing the lesson of prayer. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshikani Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanastu Krishna Matirastu Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.